Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies. Shout out to you all. Do me a favor if you can. Smash that like button as it does help people find about Sharpie. You know, let's get right into it. We got 4 games again today. And before we get into those games, we got to talk a little rules with teams that are in the must-win spots. Those are guys I cannot look to back today, as their manager will have a giant quick hook on them, as they cannot allow them to get hit today. And those are teams that lost the first game of a 3-game series. And the very first game on the board, we've got Nathan Eovaldi versus Zach Eflin. And we know both of those guys happen to be in the book. So we know how to bet these guys. And Eovaldi's had 2 games already versus the Rays this year, going 6 innings in both, having 2, and it was either 5 or 6 strikeouts depending on in the other game. Where Eflin, didn't really check into Eflin's what he did versus these Rangers. I know what Zach Eflin's key is, and we like to use keys around here, guys. And Zach Eflin's key is straight up the same key as Eovaldi's, and it's whiff. Do you fucking whiff? If so, I can look to play you. Do you not whiff? I've got to look under. And that's the only way I can really look with Zach Eflin if I was to bet him today, is he's got the quick hook if anything goes wrong. They're down the 1 game right now. As well as we got a team that doesn't whiff. That is the key that I use to use Zach Eflin props. Then we get into Nathan Eovaldi. One of my favorite pitchers to bet on, guys, and I've got a double up spot in him right here, right now, and I'm going to take his outs over 14.5. Let's go over, check out a little Nathan and see what he has for us right now, and we'll give you the best lines right now, and we'll refresh. We'll hit a little refresh. Ain't hurt nobody. His outs right now are at 14.5 minus 105. Golly, man, you can't go 5 innings today, Nathan. You've already seen this team twice. You don't got the quick hook on you right now. You're up 1-0. Bochy will let you go if you are showing to be left out there. He did it with Monty yesterday. We got to back these coaches we know we can back. We know we can back the other coaches well with cash, but right here is the quick hook syndrome, and that's where we can't really fuck with Eflin, guys. So I'm going to put a full unit on the over 14.5 outs. As well, guys, as we've got 2 different K props going right here. We got a 3.5 minus 150, or we can get the plus money to even money on the 4.5. Me personally, I took the 4.5 at even money. I don't want the juice. I believe if he gets 4, he gets 5. Also, I believe they have the whiff, guys. So when I look at for whiff, we talk about the whiff. We got 3 guys that are considered elite in this lineup that do not whiff. The rest, guys, we have easy pickings on, guys. So we've got a Rosarania at 19 at-bats has struck out 8 times. Guess what? That fucker whiffs. Diaz has only struck out 3 of his 19 bats. Guess what? He don't whiff. Oh, the key's coming out. Ramirez, guys, and I'm taking anything below 3 at bats or below. That's trash to me, guys. That's one game. Could have been a great game. Could have been a bad game. Doesn't fucking matter. It's one game. I don't fucking care about 3 at bats personally. So we're going to get then into Ramirez. He hasn't had more than 3 at bats. Lowe hasn't struck out to this man in 7 at bats. And he whiffs. Guess whose turn it is to strike out today? To Nathan Eovaldi. Low. Then we get into Paredes, guys, who doesn't whiff. He is elite as well, but he's actually struck out 3 of his 8 at-bats to Eovaldi. So we've actually got somewhat action versus a guy who don't strike out. The only other guy that's considered elite is Margot. Now, once again, 7 at-bats, only 1 strikeout. So the guys that are considered elite, he doesn't really strike out. But they're not fucking hitting him. Margot is the only one who's hitting him 286. Low, it says 600, bro. I'm going to say it's 7 at bats. I'm going to say, cool. Can you do it again? And I'm going to bet you can't. The hardest thing to do in life is hit a fucking baseball. This man throws 5 pitches. I expect Nathan Eovaldi to be out there at least 5 innings and to have at least 5 strikeouts, average a strikeout per inning. I do believe they correlate. That's why I have a unit on both. My book doesn't allow me to parlay them. I really think it's a good parlay piece. If you could pull it down to that 3.5 with the outs, that way I'm a safe better. I prefer to bet closer to even money than get crazy plus money personally. I'd rather just win my fucking bet than go crazy. So Zach Eflin for me has to just be a complete stay off. Doesn't mean we still can't check out his props, see what the books are saying on him. Does he got an, yes, he does have an H in his name. Zach Eflin, they got his strikeouts way up there, bro. And do you know why? Well, if we've watched this team over the last week and a half, the eye test tells us what we talked about with Glass. Now, we got to throw the numbers away right now. This team is swinging, and they're swinging to put damage. They're swinging for damage. And when you do that, you strike out. Now, I just can't get there. I cannot get there with a guy that is a soft tosser, relies on putting the ball where he needs it. He's a great pitcher. Don't get me fucking wrong. This team doesn't whiff. It's 6 guys in the lineup that don't whiff. That's enough for me to say, nah. It's hella juice to the under. I'm cool with that as well. Now, this right here, that may be tempting, guys. That may be tempting me. As well as his outs. This would be more of the quick hook factor if you wanted to take into the matter. This guy should be a 17.5 to an 18.5 every time he steps out on the hill. But because the Rays are down 1-0, Kevin Cash has that hook out. He has that bullpen fucking ready. He has to win this game. That means everything and anything that can happen and needs to happen will fucking happen. Now, if Eflin's out there shutting it down, gets a couple runs and run support, the leash gets longer. But if Eflin's shutting it down, Eovaldi's shutting it down, that leash is still there. Anytime someone gets put on second base in a tie ball game or if they're only up by 1, Eflin can get fucking pulled. That's what you got to take in here, guys. So I cannot look over on anything with Eflin. Eflin has to have an elite game for him to be left out there at least 6 innings, or else Cash just can't do it. This is win or go home mode for these boys. Next game up that we're going to talk about, guys, is this Minnesota and Toronto game where the lineups did just come out. And I believe that's the exact lineup that they had. Now they have Kirilloff, Kepler switched. Even better. All right. Jeffers. We've got Wallner, Jeffers, Taylor. Little switch there. That still really don't matter. Even though Jeffers is beautiful. All right, guys. This is a bet that I haven't given out to my people yet because I was waiting for the lineups. But those who tune in shall get the fucking money with Sharpie. So let's go check out Jose Barrios. And it sucks because this is the place that uses hyphens. And if you fucking spell their name wrong, which I'm a terrible speller, there it is. Let's share it. Share this tab. We got Barrios at a 4.5 minus 150 all the way to a 5.5 at plus money. Now the issue here is I want to back a guy But also, guys, we talked about the quick hook factors, guys. What can happen if he gets hit? Then he got to get pulled because this is must-win mode. This is what happened with us with Gosman yesterday. I got a text message from somebody like, why? It's only one guy hitting him. Because it's fucking baseball, bro. And these games mean something now. And they cannot allow you to see that guy again in a game that's within 3 runs. The game's still within shouting distance. It was a good managerial move, sad to say. It kept them close. It kept them close. And I get it, bro. It sucked. We definitely had action after he struck out the side, but fuck. You can't allow one guy get 2 bombs off you and expect a good manager to send his ass back out there for a little bit more. So I'm actually looking to run Barrios' K prop, guys, and his outs are also 14.5. Man, it might be another double up spot for me now. I've got to figure it out. Do they allow him to go out there and shut it down? This is his old team, and it's double get back day with Jose Barrios. What do I mean by that? Jose Barrios has given up 4 runs, I believe, 8 times this year. All but 2 games he came back with a quality start. Only 2 times did he give up 4 runs or more, 2 times in a row. The first time he came back, shut it down. We are at the second time. He has given up 4 runs or more in back-to-back games versus the Yankees. I don't give a fuck if it's back-to-back when we're looking at it. I'm looking at his whole season, 32 games. This dude has not got butchered 3 games in a row. They need him today. He's been actually their best pitcher all season long with only, 7, 8 blowups at most. It might even not be that many yet, but it's not more than that. A clean ERA in a spot that he fucking grew up pitching in. The team that drafted him. That team that wouldn't pay him. This is the guy they wanted to see. Jose Barrios. Used to be Jose Bamios last year. That was his name for me. But we got to change shit and give respect where it's due. And since the talk with Pedro Martinez, where Pedro let him know what he was tipping, what he's seen, Jose Barrios has been that fucking dude, guys, and I really want to back him in this spot. Now, the problem with me is, do I take the strikeouts? Do I take the outs? I don't like the double up, but I think this may be another double up spot, as in we have the key right here with Jose Barrios. The key with him is chase contact, whether I go under, whether I go over. And that's the one thing I look at and compare it to. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in this lineup that are at least 3% worse than league average when it comes to making contact when they chase, as well as 2 guys within a 0.5% of league average, with only 2 guys being elite. So we've got action at 7 of these guys in this strikeouts, guys. Now, we also got to think about the 2 guys that don't strike out to him. And obviously, if we look at the past history, Correa, he's seen him 17 times, only struck out once. Hey, look at him. He's elite when it comes to making contact when he chases. And he's batting almost 300 off of him. And they actually put him in the 6th spot in the lineup. Yeah, thank you very much. Where we've got Julian is considered trash. Polanco is considered league average. Lewis is considered trash. Kepler is elite. Kirilloff is considered league average. We got to Correa again. He is considered elite, where the bottom 3, Jeffers, Wallner, Taylor, are all considered trash. With Jeffers actually seeing this guy 5 times, and he struck out 4 of them. Now, Taylor's only struck out 2 of his 9 at-bats, but laws of averages with that chase contact rate says he comes back down to earth. Now, how many batters does he see in 5 innings? He's going to see about 4 per innings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go through the lineup twice. Maybe get to Julian and Polanco 3 times, 5 times through the lineup. And I think his strikeouts are the way. And I may pay up for that minus 150 spot because he is in that spot where if he gets hit, he gets hooked. And I don't want to be hooked on this, guys. If he starts to get hit at any given fucking time, he's in trouble and will get pulled. Now, I don't think he gets hit hard today. I had somebody text me that was at the game yesterday and says, I've never betted on this team before, bro, but like to win the World Series. He goes, but I think this is our year. And I didn't message him back, but a lot of that game had to do with the umpire yesterday. I knew we had a shitty umpire in that game. Speaking of shitty umpires, we have one in the Evaldi game. We have Trip Bummios over there, okay, guys? This guy's right underneath freaking Miller. And it's a game, guys, where I've noticed when they're putting these guys out there, they're hitting under guys at like 90% over the last 2 weeks, week and a half of playoff baseball. Every time I see one of these umpires in a game, it was in the Glass Now game as well yesterday. The games have gone under. I like to say they rig games with umpires. You may think I'm crazy, but you can rig a game 80% by the total by fucking with a strike zone. What I mean by that, if you shrinking it, you can make the game go over 80% of the time. If you open it, the game goes under 80% of the time. Did you watch yesterday? Did you see Vladdy and all them shaking their head, looking at the ump? They already lost their at bat. They're in their head. That's the last thing you can be in as a hitter, guys. And that's the way they take advantage of these games, in my opinion. So I think they will never have robot umpires. So I will be looking at Jose Barrios' strikeouts over 4.5 minus 150. I really think that's the play. We've got mass action. By the time he goes through to the 5 inning mark, where if we wanted to bet his outs, where I think Eovaldi and his outs correlate, he can average one per, or, he can get that one extra at any given time. So at the end of the day, that's the way I'm going to get in on Barrios, is for a full unit on the over 4.5 at minus 150. Let's go, Barrios. They need you. I need you. And I got faith in you today. The next game up, guys, we've got the Diamondbacks and as well as the Milwaukee Brewers. And we're going to have to shut somebody up because they don't know how to Oh, I'm not going to yell about him. He's just laughing about the umpires right now. He's just said, holy shit, Sharpie. Do you see who's behind the plate in this? I was like, yeah. I just told some people on my recording who's fucking coming. So, but I don't bet because of that. That's a reason why I look to stay off of an under K-prop. Now let's get to Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen is in a spot versus a team who don't strike out. Zach Gallen, we learned and we found out, strikes people out 1 per inning in spots where it says he's not going to strike you out. Does he go 5 innings today? That's the question. And you know what? I thought I wanted to bet him. Look at his outs. Beautiful, right? It was at a 15.5. It's got bet up to a 16.5. This is Zach Gallen. He goes 6 innings. They need it. This is their stud, right? This is the guy who does everything. Why the fuck? Oh, they dropped it to a 2.5. Oh, no, it's at a 2.5. There's somebody who's at a 3.5 today, bro. That's just absurd. Why is he minus 150 to the over 2.5 runs, guys? That scares the shit out of me. And he may have been a 3.5, guys. I'm not bullshitting. There was somebody at a 3.5 today that freaking made me go, oh, it might be Nola. So we'll check Nola when it comes. But even the fact that this is a minus 150 to the 2.5, that tells me he's given up 3 earned runs. I don't want to be on a guy in a playoff game who can give up 3 earned fucking runs and get yanked. I did want his outs at 15.5, but also, guys, his strikeouts correlate with where it was at 15.5, not at 16.5. I would take his strikeouts. I'm going to stay the fuck off of him today. I'm afraid of this 2.5 earned runs, pretty much telling me he gives up 3 runs, because if it happens early, I don't know if they leave him out. And yeah, this is a must win for the Diamondbacks. You would think the leash is there, especially on their best pitcher. But then I go through why is Zach Gallen going to give up 2.5? Like, what do these fuckers know, right? So I go over, I check out his game log. I look at his last 10 games. He's given it up 4 times. But that's not enough to warrant a minus 150, bro. That's plus 110 to the over. Nah, they're asking you and begging us to bet it under. So let's figure it out. What do the Giants, Mets, Dodgers, and not Texas, and Baltimore all have in common? They are in the top 10 of making contact when they chase. At the end of the that's not what you want to be at, guys, is facing a team who makes contact. Most of these teams don't whiff either, guys. These are teams that are considered elite. He ended up with only 3 versus the freaking Dodgers, 4 versus Baltimore. We were on him last week versus Houston. And now they're telling us he's going to give up 3 earned runs. So let's look up when he gives up 3 earned runs. He has 4 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts. So he's 1-3 to the over right now. Hits it again, hits it again, hits it again. So it's a 50-50 proposition, guys. And I'm not willing to get in on 50-50. I thought I wanted to back Gallen, especially without the quick hook. I just was like, you know what? Something don't seem right now about this. So maybe I need to wait to see who the umpire is to make a final call. And yeah, sometimes you just got to let shit be and not try to bet every game, especially if you thought you wanted in. Sometimes you got to just let it be. So yeah, let's go talk the other side. Freddie Pizzle. And I can't bet him. Nope, not at all. He is on the quickest of quickest hooks. He is a guy who can get into real trouble. Now, the Diamondbacks last night, they did show a lot more patience than they showed the last 7 days of the regular season in must-win spots. They were taking their pitches. They were taking their walks. And if you do that versus Freddie Peralta in a must-win spot, he is in a boatload of trouble because Craig Counsell will not leave him out there to get banged around. They ain't going to play hook on him today, guys. They're not going to play Rufio. They're going to go bang-a-rang, and they're going to take his ass out. So if Freddie P has a great game, yes, he hits all of his props. Not even a great game. If Freddie P goes 5-6 innings where they have his props lined at, 5 innings, 6 strikeouts is tough in 5 innings. So, I mean, do you think he goes 5 innings may be the better bet? But at the end of the day, if he goes 5-6 innings, he can have 6 strikeouts. But if the Diamondbacks show up and play like they've played all year and also played like they did yesterday, I think 6 is tough. I think they're going to take their walks. And I think maybe his walks maybe is the spot as Peralta's going to be jacked up for this one. And I stayed off Luzardo at the end of the day yesterday because I ended up talking to some people and I was like, yeah, you're right. This is his first ever career start in the playoffs. It's on the road. I says, man, maybe I should wait for the first inning, see how his fucking butterflies, are, and butterflies are real, guys. So Freddie Peralta, he's gonna come out jacked up, and that may not be a good thing, guys. May not be a good thing. So I'm just gonna complete pass on this game right now, personally, as just got some weird feelings about it. Now let's go talk about our boy Aaron Nola versus Braxton Garrett. And this is a game where they've got his K prop juiced up to a 6 to a team who don't strike out. They've got his outs at a very bettable 15.5. And that's actually maybe the spot where I end up pulling the trigger on. But I am having a little bit of problem getting to the window. So let's talk about Aaron Nola. Thought I wanted Aaron Nola yesterday as long as Wheeler went out and got the win. But now I look at Aaron Nola and I see what's happened in Miami the few times he's faced them this year, guys. And it's not been good. Let's just go pull it up so you guys can see how not good it has been. Here we go. Aaron. Pull it up on Fangraphs. Why aren't they doing me a favor? I spelt his name right, didn't I? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. My bad. Oh, I'm still sharing Fangraphs. My bad, guys. I thought this whole fucking time that I was pulling up these guys' freaking shit for you guys. So I'm sorry about that. This is what happens when Sharpie smokes a bowl. Let's just show you what I was talking about, which I thought I was showing you guys is why is this so juiced right here? Why 3 runs? I mean, that doesn't correlate with this to me. So, and it was at a 15.5, mind you guys. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry, douchebag Sharpie moment. And now we're going to go share back to this tab. Go back to Aaron Nola. Why aren't they giving me him? Okay, we'll share this tab and we'll go over here to the other one. Nola. Okay, game log. Here we go. He's played Miami to start the year. 5.2 innings, 4 earned runs. Damn. 4 earned runs. That doesn't get better. Another 4 earned runs in 6 innings. Oh, it don't get better. Another 4 earned runs in 4.1 innings. What I noticed, guys, 7 hits, 8 hits in Miami on the last one, 9 hits. They have nothing less than 7 hits versus Aaron Nola this year. Is the spot that hits over? He does have the leash right now, doesn't he? And haven't bet many hits over in my life, guys. So that's what I'm having a problem getting to the window with. Yeah, I think they have the leash. They let him go if he's pitching well. But at the end of the day, 4.5 minus 120, when you've given up 7 or more hits every time, and the hook should be a little bit out there, guys, longer than normal. And one thing about these Dolphins, too much cross sports going on. These Marlins is they don't strike out often. You know, they can strike out, but they sure as fuck don't walk. They're a team who doesn't walk. They swing. They hit a lot of singles. Singles. They'll single you to death. So I know how the ground ball freaking theory works here at the Phillies. We get soaked infield, guys, and if we get a ground ball pitcher, we could back them. Well, Aaron Nola, guys, over the last few years just hasn't been that ground ball pitcher that he used to be. So at the end of the day, I may pull the trigger on the over 4.5 hits allowed, or I may pull his outs over, but I can't get there with the outs. So bullshit. I'm not betting the outs. I'm either going to bet his hits over or I'm not. And if I do, it'll probably be a half a unit because I'm not really into betting hits. But when I look at the game logs, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, bro, and nothing less than 7. And then we can go 8, 9 and just keep counting. Nah. You're going to have to burn me, Nola. And it might be a half unit burn when I get to it, guys. Other side of this is Braxton. Young Braxton Garrett, the kid who's won us a boatload of money. Once again, I go over there and I'm looking at something that I shouldn't be, and I forget to switch the share tab screen. So you guys are just looking at some jackass on screen. But Braxton Garrett, he's also played this Philly teams a few times. Obviously, guys, this is their freaking what they do, right? Braxton Garrett will also be in his first ever playoff start. Braxton Garrett will be on the road in a hostile environment in his first ever playoff start. He's played the Phillies 2 times this year. First game, we're going to pull up. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and only 3 strikeouts. Then he's seen them again a couple weeks later. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs with 5 strikeouts. So he's given up 3 pieces. And you know, they're probably coming from a jack, knowing my kid. So 2 times, guys, he's gotten hit, a couple, given up 3 in both. Quick hooks are out. A must-win spot for Miami. And a team that already sees him well, already hits him well, in a super, super hostile environment. If there was a run first inning or I don't know what Nola's going to do is the problem. Does Nola come out and fucking shove playoff Nola from last year? Or does he do what he's done to Miami every fucking time he's seen them? And that's getting hit. And I know the Miami Marlins are single hitters, so I might look at that 4.5 for sure. That's something that is screaming at me. Now, on the other side, I just can't get there with Braxton Garrett. I can't back Braxton Garrett today. Not in a hostile environment, not in a hostile situation. Now, what Bovada is allowing us to do right now is actually bet these props live. Crazy, right? We never get to bet props live personally and for K-props. So I will be looking to get in live, and that was my strategy yesterday with Luzardo. Luzardo threw too many pitches for me to get back in on him to even think I wanted in on him. So if Braxton Garrett goes out there and shoves 1, 2, 3, pitch count low, strikeouts, even at 1 or less, then I can look maybe to back Braxton Garrett. I need to see something, but I also need to know that, have that in the back of my mind. He could get hooked. He can get hooked early. So those are my theories. These are the ways I thought. I wrote absolutely nothing down except for the few lineups that I did earlier that I wanted to do, and those lineups are out. So appreciate you guys all for listening. Hit that subscribe if you're new. Smash that fucking like button. And yeah, until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets. You can find me on Twitter or at your local bar picking up them BBW.
Yeah, with everybody saying L.A. Night.